Good evening, all. Breaking news. I have shifted gears. I'm changing a slight direction as the UNSC will hear Child Genocide Day, June 28th. It gives me almost now 3 weeks to prepare. And I've been studying, folks. I've been studying this extremely hard. This is one Canadian who knows constitutionalism. I preach it, I practice it. I've been in it full time with the greatest minds in the world for 2 solid straight years. And guess what, everybody? Guess what I discovered about Canada's constitutional amendment 1982? The new Constitution of Canada. All premiers and the then Prime Minister, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, chose to refuse unilateral amendment to remove church and state, to remove it infinitely, legally, and eternally in the Constitution. They refused to do it. We just saw Justin Trudeau, Premier Legault, unilaterally one of 5 amendment procedures in Canada that any Prime Minister and any Premier can unilaterally amend Canadians. And they said no. No in 1982. I have the Act. I have the exhibits. I have every Prime Minister and every Premier who refused to do this in Canada's entirety. Today, in Native News, they talk about an Archbishop who said he will not go to the police. They write another crap article about the Catholic Church, twisting his words. Why would any Catholic priest, Archbishop, or anyone else, when church and state are enshrined constitutionally, and the church is subject to the politicians who have ultimate crown authority, who have the courts, king's courts, ladies and gentlemen, the church is to surely lose. The government gets off scot-free. Judge, jury, executioner. Pierre Elliott Trudeau, it was right in front of him in 1982. He said no. And so did every Premier of Canada. What does that tell you, Canadians, First Nations? The guilty are absolutely the politician, hiding behind a religion as they hide behind the stolen crown power that they stole in 1952. I have them dead to rights. There's not an expert in the world in theology and law, meaning you can't pick a religious expert, doctorate of law and theology, to come forward and dispel what I'm telling you about 1982. Every Canadian just witnessed Premier Legault, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, unilaterally amend the Constitution. And in 1982, it was opened, and they said no. No separation of church and state. And since that time, including now, Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, you would do a unilateral amendment to the Constitution, but you would not do that for church and state. Who murdered the Indigenous children? Who's hiding it? The church would be crazy to go forward in your colonialism, crazy to turn over any evidence to you. Canadians, I am going to the ICC. It's already there. Your signatures will go on this letter. And now, are you ready for what has come? An epiphany, a light bulb, something Jesus Christ would be proud of if he was alive today. We are going to go to every archdiocese in Canada in another letter with the reference of Pope Francis in his clear statement against colonialism, against the government of Canada, for the people of Canada, for the First Peoples, all sons and daughters of Canada, against the colonial crown power. The Pope and the archbishops must sign my letter to the ICC and testify and disclose all evidence, all records to the ICC prosecutor, and guarantee Canadian involvement of the Catholic Church, of all Catholics in part, to the residential school process, will submit and yield and testify in the ICC against all the Canadian politicians, all of them from then till now today, Conservative, Liberal, NDP, Bloc. It goes on and on and on. All colonial crown autocracy, the sickest, pervertedest kind, to the point of blatant, in your face right now today, illegal colonialism and genocide. We can win this. We can win it with none other than the Catholic Church. I am not defending the fact that pedophiles will gravitate to the church. They will gravitate to priesthood, because that's what pedophiles do. Like any other human being, when you are attracted to something, you go to where you will find it. Coach, priest, it goes on and on. Unfortunately, this is a sickness in society. At least 5% of the population's infected with this disease, whether that's inherited, born with, or you develop it, or it's just pure plain evil. That is reality. We need to address these things now. We need to end this, Canada. As long as we allow our governmental system to get away and continue, they did not remove church as they don't remove crown power. Why? Why does this old illegal government system, old, rotten to the core, ruled world illegal, why does it continue today in Canada? Because the autocrats can hide behind the church, can hide behind the crown of the UK, and absolutely commit genocides, exploit rights and freedoms, remove all your civil rights, remove all your charter rights, as all monarchs in colonial enterprises of the past and of today have done and continue to do. Our immigration is still perpetrating colonial genocide against the First Peoples. This isn't ending with anything we're addressing unless we end the crown. These letters to each and every archdiocese in Canada can destroy the government system once and for all. This is the salvation for the Catholic Church. It doesn't right all the wrongs, but it moves Canadians and First Nations persons forward. It gives a sense of closure, a path forward. We can fix Canada. We can do that by the next regular scheduled federal election. Don't listen to the filthy autocratic lying politicians. There's no election coming. They just voted that down. They voted down unanimously. Politicians in Canada are legally allowed to lie to you. It's in law. They control it. They own it. There are 2 acts that cover this. Only elected parties find out these hidden acts from public. Crown power. I am one of those citizens who ascended to that level to read those acts and learn them in their entirety and live in the autocracy. I've come back to destroy it, to destroy the crown. That's what we must do. These letters to none other than the Catholic Church will make all the difference. Imagine every archbishop signs on. The diocese all sign on, as Pope Francis has stated and requested. Church versus state, even though the Constitution of Canada holds the church to state. meaning the crown is above the Catholic Church. This is the same in Australia, and why no priest can ever go to a police officer, because the crown is above church in the state. No one from the colonial countries has removed this autocracy. The church has much evidence to give, much closure to give. But do they give it to King's Court, the perpetrator, the one who hides behind the church, the one who hides behind the crown? Because they are the church, they are the crown, they hold that power. This is a light bulb. This is work that would make Jesus Christ proud today, and we can all get together. Send your names, send the emails. I'm going to all the archdioceses. You will see in the coming days the absolute letter that's going to every archbishop in Canada. This is going to end. The walls of tyranny are coming down. This system of Canada has to end. We can do that together, each and every Canadian. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to be a famous politician, a first-class citizen. You just have to have the mind. You just have to be able to read, go through the system as it really is, and do the work. I did that, and now I need your help, Canadians. Let's get this moving. Share this video. Get it across Canada. Let's end it all once and for all. Move forward as a real nation. End the autocracy. End the crown. End the church and state embedded in our Constitution. This is what Pope Francis is trying to tell you. I found it. I found it in its entirety. 1982. Friends, followers, CPC, founding members, I wouldn't lie about this. I have them dead to rights in real exhibit. Pierre Elliott Trudeau chose with every premier, which means it's partisan, conservative, NDP, Bloc. It will be Green, it will be Maverick, it will be whatever party comes forward in the crown. They will never end it. They will hold the church forever. Do you all understand that? Pope Francis is calling on you all to act. And I am going to go to every single diocese, and I need your names on that letter. Let's send a strong letter that you're all going to see, just as the ICC one. And it will all go to the UNSC Binding 5 P5, June 28th, Day of Children Genocide in the United Nations Security Council, 8 a.m. All your names will be on it. Keep up the emails, everybody. Keep it up. Ontario, well done. 217 Ontarians. Well done. Welcome aboard. Keep it up, Canada. Share, share, share. Watch for my next letter specific to the church and to the archdiocese. Every single one of them. Thank you. Church versus Canada State. That's how we're going to beat all of this. Good night, everybody.